music industry has always been unpredictable. Some of the most iconic songs of all time were complete commercial failures when they first appeared. Here are 10 flop songs that should have been global hits. Number 10, God Only Knows by the Beach Boys.
Living to me, God only knows what I'd be without you.
Paul McCartney has repeatedly called this the greatest song ever written. Rolling Stone placed it among the finest songs of all time. Yet when Capitol Records released it in July 1966, the track stalled at number 39 on the Billboard Hot 100. Most casual listeners didn't even know it existed. The problem was positioning. Capitol placed it as the B-side to Wouldn't It Be Nice, essentially burying Brian Wilson's masterpiece.
Time will not wait for me. Time is mine.
Radio programmers found the word God in the title too controversial for airplay. The sophisticated arrangement confused listeners expecting surf rock. Today, it stands as one of pop music's greatest achievements, a song that influenced the Beatles and generations of songwriters who followed. Some masterpieces simply arrived before their time.
Good vibrations.
Number 9, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen.
The baffled king composing hallelujah.
Columbia Records executives listened to Leonard Cohen's new album in 1984 and made a stunning decision. They rejected it entirely for American release, calling it not commercial enough. The album was various positions, and buried on it was a song called Hallelujah. Cohen had written over 80 verses before settling on the final version. The rejection devastated Cohen, who spent years perfecting the track.
Amid the garbage and the flowers, there are heroes in the seaweed.
American audiences wouldn't hear the original for years. Then something remarkable happened. John Cale recorded a piano version in 1991. Jeff Buckley transformed it into a haunting masterpiece in 1994. Today, over 300 artists have covered the song. The track Columbia rejected became one of the most performed compositions of all time.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Number 8, Heroes by David Bowie. In 1977, Berlin was a divided city surrounded by Cold War tension. David Bowie co-wrote and co-produced Heroes while watching his collaborator, Tony Visconti, embrace backing singer Antonia Maas near the Berlin Wall. The resulting anthem captured both the tragedy and hope of that moment. When RCA released it as a single, it reached number 24 in the UK. It didn't chart at all in America.
Oh man, look at those cavemen go.
The song seemed destined for obscurity. Radio programmers didn't know how to categorize its experimental production. The public wasn't ready for its raw emotional power. But time transformed everything. Bowie performed Heroes near the Reichstag in June 1987, a legendary concert widely credited with helping fuel the momentum toward German reunification. The song was featured at the 2012 London Olympics and played at memorial services after his death. The flop became an anthem for generations.
There's a star man waiting in the sky. He told us not to run.
Number 7, Tainted Love by Gloria Jones.
Talking about the tainted love. Talking about the tainted love.
Before Soft Cell made it an 80s anthem, Tainted Love belonged to Gloria Jones. The American soul singer recorded the original in 1964 for Champion Records, though it wasn't released until 1965 as a B-side. Her version featured raw vocals, pounding drums, and genuine heartbreak. It became a cult favorite in Britain's northern soul scene, but sold almost nothing commercially. 17 years later, Mark Allman discovered the track through the Northern Soul underground. Soft Cell transformed it into something completely different, stripping away the soul and adding electronic coldness. Their version hit number 1 in the UK and became a defining song of 1981. Gloria Jones never received proper recognition for creating the original blueprint. Her passionate performance remains the superior version for soul purists worldwide.
I don't wanna see you go. What if you have to go now?
Number 6, The Passenger by Iggy Pop. Lust for Life remains one of the most influential rock albums ever recorded. David Bowie co-produced it alongside Iggy Pop and Colin Thurston during their legendary Berlin sessions in 1977. The title track became a global phenomenon decades later through film placements. But buried on that same album was The Passenger, a song that was only released as the B-side to success in America.
I'm worth $1 million in prizes. I got a torch of film.
RCA Records didn't hear commercial potential in its hypnotic guitar riff and stream of consciousness lyrics. They were wrong. Over the following decades, The Passenger appeared in countless commercials, films, and television shows. Volkswagen, Toyota, and Guinness, among others, paid handsomely to license it. The song Iggy Pop Couldn't Give Away in 1977 became one of the most valuable catalog tracks in rock history. Before we continue, which of these original versions surprised you most? Did you own any of these albums back when they first came out? We'd love to hear your memories. Drop a comment and let us know where you're watching from today.
Well, I'm a real wild one. I like the wild fun. The world's gone crazy, everything.
Number 5. Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. NME named this the greatest single of all time in 2002. Music publications worldwide have placed it among rock's most important recordings. The haunting synthesizer line influenced everyone from New Order to Interpol to The Killers. Yet, when Factory Records released it in June 1980, it only reached number 13 in the UK. The circumstances were devastating. Ian Curtis passed away on May 18, 1980, just weeks before release. The remaining members couldn't perform it live. Without Curtis, the song never reached its full commercial potential during its initial run. Over the following decades, Love Will Tear Us Apart transcended chart positions entirely. It became a cultural touchstone, proving that artistic impact matters far more than sales figures.
Dance to the radio.
Number 4. Killing Me Softly with His Song by Lori Lieberman.
Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly.
The night changed everything. Lori Lieberman sat in a Los Angeles club watching Don McLean perform, completely mesmerized by his presence. She later described the experience to songwriters Charles Fox and Norman Gimbel, who transformed her feelings into Killing Me Softly with his song. Lieberman recorded it first and released it in 1972. Her version failed to chart entirely. The song deserved better. Roberta Flack heard Lieberman's recording on an airplane and understood its potential immediately.
Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly with his song.
Flack's 1973 version hit number 1 and won 3 Grammy Awards. 20 years later, the Fugees made it a global phenomenon again. Lieberman, whose real experience inspired the lyrics, watched others claim the glory. Her original remains a beautiful artifact of what could have been.
Thought it was gone. You never thought this road would unwind.
Number 3. Blinded by the Light by Bruce Springsteen.
How a young scout with a slingshot finally found a tender spot and throw.
Manfred Mann's Earth Band took this song to number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 1977. The synth-driven cover became a classic rock radio staple for decades. But the original belonged to a young Bruce Springsteen, who included it on his 1973 debut album Greetings from Asbury Park, New Jersey. Columbia Records released it as the album's first single, but it failed to gain any traction on the charts. Columbia didn't know what to do with Springsteen yet. Critics loved him, but commercial success remained elusive. Blinded by the Light showcased his wordplay and poetic ambition, yet audiences weren't ready. Manfred Mann simplified the arrangement and added radio-friendly production. The cover became iconic while the original faded into cult status. Springsteen later acknowledged with good humor that Mann's version earned him royalties he never would have seen otherwise. Number 2. Red Red Wine by Neil Diamond.
Red, red wine. Go to my head.
Over 100 million records sold worldwide. Sweet Caroline playing in stadiums across America. Neil Diamond became one of the most successful singer-songwriters in music history. But in 1967, he was still finding his voice. He recorded Red Red Wine as a soulful ballad about heartbreak and alcohol. It reached only number 62 on the Billboard Hot 100 before disappearing completely. The song needed a different treatment. UB40 discovered it through Tony Tribe's 1969 reggae version and transformed it into their own reggae groove. Their 1983 version became a UK #1. When re-released in 1988 after a performance at the Nelson Mandela 70th birthday tribute concert renewed interest. It topped the American charts too. Neil Diamond's tender original became an afterthought, remembered only by dedicated fans. The reggae version remains the definitive take for most listeners, proof that timing and arrangement can change everything.
Caroline, good times never seem so.
Number 1. Nothing Compares to You by The Family.
Nothing, I said nothing can take away this blues.
At 26, Prince was already a superstar when he wrote this stunning ballad. He gave it to The Family, a side project featuring members of his extended Minneapolis collective. Paisley Park Records released it in 1985 on their self-titled album. The song was never released as a single and didn't chart. Almost nobody heard it. Prince moved on to other projects, seemingly unconcerned. 5 years later, Sinead O'Connor recorded her version for the album I Do Not Want What I Haven't Got. Her tearful performance in the music video became one of the most memorable images of 1990. The song hit #1 in 17 countries and stayed there for weeks. Prince's original remains a hidden treasure, a reminder that even genius sometimes needs the right interpreter to reach the world.